Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Neil Howard, here on Health Professional Radio, and I'm real happy that you could return for another segment. We're going to be speaking with Mr. Leif Pedersen in this segment. He's president of software at Certara. It's a global leader in biosimulation. He's going to talk about his company's partnership with Chemixon. It's a leading cheminformatics company. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Leif Pedersen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much and for inviting me.
Well, give us a bit of your professional background, if you would. Tell us, what it is that you do and where it is that you're doing it.
My professional background is I'm a computer scientist. I have been in this field in more than 30 years, and I have spent the last 20-some years focused on software development for the life science industry in general. And right now I'm with Certara, and Certara is a services and software company that's focused on helping life sciences companies accelerate medicine to patients.
Let's talk about this strategic partnership that you forged with Chemixon. Why was this partnership formed?
The partnership was formed driven by biopharmaceutical companies in the life sciences industry. There is a need for accelerated discovery. This is very early in the life science development or drug development life cycle, in the early research and discovery, where life science companies or biopharmaceutical companies are going through a process where they identify relevant molecules and they try to prioritize which molecules to pursue and which molecules not to pursue. And Certara has an offering today within this space. The name of that offering is D360. It is a scientific informatics software that helps provide the decision intelligence upon deciding upon the right molecules to promote and the right molecules to take forward for further investigation. The reason why the partnership with Chemixon was so important for our customers is that the moment that we inside our D360 software have decided upon a relevant molecule to promote, you naturally now have to plan out what to do. You have to make plans for if the next step that you want to take is more in vitro activity. Let me translate that to laboratory informatics. You might want to go to the lab, do some further testing on the molecule. You might need to go back and do some more computational science, right? You might want to investigate toxicity or safety parameters or other aspects of a potential molecule or future drug, to see if it works, if it can be solved inside the human body, and if it has meaning to pursue that molecule. So that entire planning exercise and that entire design of experiment, if you will, the next step in the process is what Chemixon's design hub is taking care of. And there was a very strong desire from our joint customers to have a very, very, very seamless user experience, a workflow from the intelligence or analytics side that we provide to the design of experiment, the tracking and the prioritization of these capabilities within the Design Hub capabilities that Chemixon delivers with Design Hub. So that is what actually drove us to build this very seamless integration between the two portfolios.
What would you say is the number of companies that are actually using your D360 software right now for scientific discovery purposes?
We have a very wide user base in general. I would say that a little bit more than half of the top 25 biopharmaceutical companies uses the D360 software on a daily basis. That's accumulating up to, more than 6,500 discovery and research scientists in the biopharmaceutical space that uses our software every day. Yeah, so half of them, and I would say that's the same for Chemixon as well.
What would you say is the main challenge or barrier that D360 has eliminated in accelerating this discovery process? It's obviously faster. Is it more efficient? Are the decisions as safe with your software as they were with manual work?
Yes, many of the challenges that there is today in biopharmaceutical companies is the ability to bring a lot of different data together. Much of that data is in many different systems, right? They can be in different scientific systems. They can be in different systems that gathers data. I mentioned before laboratory informatics systems. That is a very, very strong delivery vehicle for information. So what D360 does is it takes many of those different sources and bring the sources of information together and create a platform by federating all of that data to make decisions. That's very unique, and it's a very, very hard task for research scientists today that if you do it manually, takes a very long time, is very complicated, and it's very hard to actually validate that the data you are integrating and the way you're driving that data integration is actually valid and gives reasonable results and that can be expected. So therefore, there is a very strong desire to use a tool like D360.
Is D360, does it lend itself to any type of drug development process, whether it be a vaccine or a pain relief or some other type of compound?
D360 is a software portfolio that helps you develop any type of molecule, whether it's a small molecule, it's a large molecule like the biologics, or anything in between. We help you with any type of drug that will result in any type of medicine at the other end.
Is the intent to actually replace hands-on or to enhance and allow scientists to focus more on other tasks as opposed to the prioritization of these molecules, whether useful or not?
It is the ability to make decisions quicker based on, very scientific analysis, right? There's deep scientific capabilities built into the D360 software that eases the workload and naturally then, as you said yourself, frees up time to the scientists to do other things and help them analyze a very, very broad set of molecules, which is often the case in the life science industry. There's a lot of molecules. You have to decide upon which ones to pursue and not pursue, and you have to do that as quickly as possible. It's kind of like the headline, the quicker you can fail, the better. That way you figure out which ones are not relevant and which ones are relevant, and drive that forward. And again, as I mentioned before, the cyclical experience of then being able to go into Chemixon's design hub, do some further experimentation, some further analysis, then bring it back into D360, understand what the results of that was, decide upon if you want to continue to pursue that molecule or if you want to throw it away. That narrows it down and makes that cyclical effort fast and the decision-making process fast as well.
Give us some web resources where our listeners can learn more about both your companies and about the collaboration.
Yeah, of course. So I would recommend you to go to www.certara.com, which is the homepage for our software, and you can find D360 there easily. And the same thing for Chemixon, which is www.chemixon.com, where you can also find the information about the Design Hub and their products as well.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Health Professional Radio this morning. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Leif Pedersen. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Listen in, download at SoundCloud, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Health Professional Radio.